My next guest is Stuart Anderson of the National Foundation for American Policy and a former official at the Immigration and Naturalization Service. Welcome, Stuart.
Thank you, Jason.
Stuart, wanted to talk to you about the Supreme Court and Arizona and immigration. Had the hearings, the Supreme Court heard oral arguments yesterday on the Arizona law. I believe 5 other states have also passed similar laws, so a lot is riding on what the courts decided. What did you make of what you heard yesterday?
Well, from looking at the transcript, it seems that the justices would be more likely to uphold any provisions that seem to be where the state is complementing federal efforts, such as reporting requirements, reporting people in their custody that are illegal immigrants or they suspect to be illegal immigrants, whereas there are other areas where they're adding on additional penalties beyond current federal immigration law, penalties on both aliens and potentially employers, that those might be more likely to be viewed as unconstitutional.
Yeah, that was sort of my reading as well. When you have a liberal justice like Sonia Sotomayor questioning the government's case, I don't think things are looking too good for opponents of the immigration law. But Stuart, there are 2 issues here, at least 2 issues as I see it. One is whether the Arizona law is constitutional. Another question, however, is whether the Arizona law is the right way to go when it comes to effectively reducing illegal immigration. I wanted to ask you about that second point, because there's a question of whether, if part of this law is upheld, other states are going to go this route. Is this the way to go?
Well, I think there is a possibility that other states, particularly some of the southern states, would consider going forward if they viewed that certain points were at least considered constitutional. The problem is when Georgia's put in passed certain measures, it really harmed their agricultural industry. And there's some talk among employers that I've heard where they can start to choose maybe where they want to have certain types of operations based on these types of laws potentially. Because if the labor is not going to be available, an employer is not going to be able to do certain types of business. And of course, in the end, what employers really want is a legal workforce, but our visa system doesn't allow that for the types of jobs that most illegal immigrants fill.
I also wanted to get your reaction to a study that came out this week by the Pew Hispanic Center on the rate of migration from Mexico. They say that it is now net zero. Stuart, it might come as a shock to you. It certainly did to me. I mean, we don't have the wall built yet. The fence has not been electrified yet. How is it that we have fewer Mexican immigrants coming to the U.S. and more leaving?
Well, I just saw some data that economist Madeline Zavodny had pointed out that showed that the apprehensions at the border, which indicates attempted illegal entry, has historically coincided with the construction and other industries, the economics ups and downs. And so I think that's largely what we've seen. The authors point out there could be some impact of enforcement, but it also could be impact as well as some of the demographic changes and possibly some economic improvement in Mexico as well. And this gets back to the whole issue of all these types of laws. I mean, what is the final goal here? Are we trying to get people to leave the country? If so, it might be difficult for the bulk of the roughly 12 plus illegal immigrants in the country, because about 10 million of them have been here 7 years or more, and many have families and established roots.